Welcome back. My name is Boris. And if you're new here, welcome. Today's conversation is for you. If you have been somebody who's been trying to fix themselves, trying to optimize life, trying to get to that next level of consciousness, that breakthrough in meditation, or somebody who's just been trying to hold it all together and make sure that you are achieving, ascending, becoming enlightened, all of that. Today's lesson cuts right through that noise into the direct heart of doing, becoming versus being in our natural state. So let's dive right into this conversation. And I want you to begin with contemplating, really like open up your mind and see what is your relationship to life. When you look at anything out there, when you look at anything in here, are you looking at it as a problem to be solved? Are you looking at it as a step to get to somewhere else? Right? If this is the way that you've been treating this present moment, this field of now, then you've been missing the most essential thing that your heart's been actually yearning for. At the back of that longing to express yourself in the fully self actualized form, to be perfect in love, to be perfect in peace, to be perfect in your spiritual mastery and expression. At the back of that desire is the longing for something that is already and always here. Remember that what you truly are is an infinite spiritual being with wisdom, with experience, with choice. You're not this body mind. You're not this name, not this personality, not this time. You are something to which all of this belongs to, and yet you transcend all of it. So, from the point of view of being somebody who is, let's say, wearing this avatar in a game, participating in the experiences and in the learnings that are available for us here, and yet not determined and not limited by the conditions that limit and determine the direction of this karmic manifestation of the body mind. We are seeking to zoom out of this really, really tight experience of deep identity with this separate sense of self into a greater sense of awareness of really becoming aware of where am I? Who am I? And why am I here? What is the purpose, not just of this life, but what is the purpose of my journey, the journey that transcends lifetimes? When we begin to connect with that flow of being, that which we are, a lot of our questions, a lot of our quests, a lot of our sense of problem that we want to engage life with begins to dissolve, begins to appear as illusory. So I want to take you into a quick presentation now. I want to put up a couple of notes on the screen and really walk you through these core ideas and how to shift your perception from a constant yearning to become, which also carries with it a flavor of something is wrong with me the way I am, something is wrong with the world, with life, etc. So there's a non acceptance, which means there's a resistance to what is, and instead for us to connect with that sweet flow, that pulse of our original being that alleviates this sense of restlessness and trying to get to somewhere other than the here and now. So let's explore this together. And I'm going to take you on a small journey to hopefully really transmit these insights in a way that they can be lived and breathed. Okay, so let's dive right in now. The core insight is this, that we create tension by trying to manage life from the mind. What is the mind? The mind is about assessment and judgment. We're talking about the body's mind, the mind that belongs to this world, the mind that thinks in the language in which you speak. You know the one I'm talking about? That voice in your head? So that voice is only ever the voice of analysis and judgment. So it's always trying to separate, it's always trying to create distinction. There's great use for this function. But when we try to manage life, meaning that we assume ourselves to be the controller and the doer of life, then this is where we create tension and stress, strain and suffering. Why? Because it is false. We are not the doers of life. Are you the one that's beating your heart right now? Do you know which thought the mind is going to present you next? Well, if none of these things are happening by your conscious volition, then perhaps it is this great organizing intelligence that is doing everything in nature, from the way that the seed turns into a ear of crop or ear of corn, and then all of the all of the seeds, all of the kernels on that corn can yet again become another entire field of corn. So what is doing that? What's doing that is divine intelligence. And so, if we begin to notice that whenever we try to grab and grip the steering wheel of life and try and decide what should happen, what shouldn't happen, we are in direct conflict with that intelligence. We think that we're in resistance to something negative, but the truth is that we are in resistance to the one and only operating intelligence that is moving throughout all of the infinite creation. So today's lesson is to release the strain of self-effort, to let go and to let this organizing intelligence, this infinite divine intelligence, to run your life for you. Now, you might say, oh, that sounds great. What a brilliant idea, right? Well, this idea, of course, is echoed everywhere. It's in the 12 steps, let go and let God. It's in Dr. Hawkins' work. It's in the surrender experiment. It's everywhere. But what is stopping us from surrender? What is stopping us from releasing the strain of self-effort? Well, it's obvious. We don't know that there is something there that is going to hold us, that is going to support us, that is going to keep us safe. And so we feel it's all up to us. If I don't do it, nobody's going to do it. So the core movement is to move from pressure to presence. So it doesn't require a great deal of faith for you to simply be present with the now. You don't have to right away have complete conviction that simply by being present, everything is going to turn out well. But by simply being present, you're going to start to see a shift taking place into what unfolds and manifests in your life. So how does this look in daily application? Well, the first step is that you need to become aware and begin to witness, seeing everything as an orchestration, not chaos. For example, you are late somewhere. Somebody says something negative to you. You experience a friction in your day. All of this is part of your curriculum. It is literally here to support you in becoming the fullness, the expressing the fullness of who and what you are as love, as infinite divine being. So if you begin to have this sensitivity that are all around me is an orchestration conspiring for the greatest, highest good, well, now you might begin to see these golden threads in your day, in your life. You might start to see, wow, I hated that this person was in my life, but now I realize the function that they played was to bring out this quality. Maybe that quality is patience. Maybe that quality is forgiveness. Maybe that quality is compassion. And moving on to the second point, typically you're referring to your thoughts as true statements of intent, something that you identify with and then think, oh, this is myself. This is what I should do. That is what I should say. That really is reality the way my thoughts describe it. No, your thoughts are only ever describing the present in terms of the past, and for the most part, they are rooted in survival. Unless you have fully recalibrated your nervous system and, I would say, digested or processed or integrated your traumas, which is basically everybody. Everybody has a parent that is not expressing the infinite love of God. And something in our system is shocked by this. And so the great opportunity that we have is to bring that healing, that compassion, that recalibration to our both our nervous system and our belief structure. We need to update it from when we were kids. So as long as that hasn't been fully calibrated, and even when it has, we still watch and see the thoughts as weather, as the same thing that moves as wind through the trees, as the song of birds, as the gurgle of a creek. That's what thoughts are. Don't take them as commands. Don't take them as reality. Don't listen to it as if they're revealing any truth. Listen to it as a murmur of something that is echoing the past. Moving on to point number 3. When thoughts present to you what seems to be a problem, naturally you go to some version of how do I fix this, right? Here is where we can completely transform our relationship to the moment. Whenever you see the moment as something to fix, whenever you feel this urgency prompted inside of you, pause and shift from how do I fix this or what do I do to how would love have me see this? Or what is the gift that is presenting itself to me in this? Or Michael Beckwith's favorite question, what is emerging? What is trying to emerge in this situation that if it were to emerge, it would completely meet the need of the moment? And typically that is a quality like compassion, like patience, like love, like forgiveness, or like peace, right? And so when you start to ask questions like, how would love have me see this? You shift from an adversarial relationship to the moment to one in which you feel connected with this moment. You feel like it is on your team and there is something of a gift in it for you. And so when the revelation takes place, how would love have me see this? You're always going to see some form of opportunity, not some form of obstacle. So let's look at some real world applications in business, right? Let's say you're working with a team, you're focused on sales, you're focused on delivering things to your clients. You want to lead your role in business from clarity of the principles that we just talked about, not urgency. Urgency tells you there's a problem. Clarity would tell you that everything is in perfect alignment for the highest lesson to unfold. As a human, we think, oh, we need this particular outcome. But the truth is that we don't need an outcome. What we truly are seeking is a feeling, yeah? Happiness, peace, that sense of all is well. Sometimes our ego leads us through stress and tension to fulfill an urgency. And when we fulfill it, for a moment, the stress and tension lets off and we're like, oh, yes, I've achieved. No, what happened is the natural peace, clarity, and wellness of your being returned for a moment because for a moment the tension got released. So you always want to root yourself in this awareness that there is no urgency in becoming or getting to the next. There is every opportunity and invitation to land right here in the center of the presence of the field that is now and allow and listen and trust, right? This leads us to, in relationships, to respond instead of react. When you think that there's a problem, you are often spurred on to a reaction, like you have to do something, right? You have to change it, you have to manipulate it, you have to resolve it, you have to change their mind, you have to have them see it a certain way. Okay. What if there is no problem? What if somebody is just there saying all kinds of things to you about how troubled they feel, and you simply see somebody who's hurt, who's disconnected, who's dysregulated, and you see them there with compassion, and you're like, ah, wow, so many words, so many symbols, so much desire to change what is. I feel the compassion for the being in front of me. And you just rest there in presence and you watch what happens, because what happens is pretty miraculous. Similar to with parenting, presence over performance. You always think, what should I do? What should I do? Should I do something? Do something? Like, do I need to create something for what? How do I? What if you just take a deep breath, look into the eyes of your son or daughter, and just get really present? Get down there on their level. If they're playing on the floor, get down on the floor. Feel your body. Let your body remember the childlike innocence and presence that your son or daughter is demonstrating and leading you into. And then follow them. Allow them to lead play and say, hey, what do you want to play? And what they do, you do, right? And you allow yourself to enter into the presence, not controlling, not directing, not trying to make it go in some direction that you think is right, but instead allowing presence to become really felt, really thick, really permeating every cell of your body and every space in that room. And in terms of self-talk, which is this bottom aspect here, what I want you to know is that with self-talk, it's so important that you choose awareness over narratives. There is a constant, ever-present field that is here. You are hearing my voice because of that field. You are aware of the words and images on the screen because of that field. That is the field of awareness. You don't need a better story, although that can be helpful. You can monitor your internal dialogue and you can shape it the way you want to, but that has a sticky possibility where you might get caught up in it and once again fall into the idea of controlling the world around you and thinking that something is wrong and it needs to change. Instead, just become aware. Become lucidly and fully aware here and now. And notice that behind all the narratives is a stillness. That stillness is not becoming. There's no urgency in it. There's nothing to fix. Can you sense it? Take a deeper breath right into your belly. Let it go. Notice. Isn't there a pleasantness in that stillness? Isn't there a greater ease than following the narrative of the mind? Okay? So, what if you were to live it today? I want to offer you this mantra, yeah? And a simple 3-step action, yeah? So, you might say, I release the strain of becoming. I live, breathe, and move as the I am. Yeah? The I am in you is not becoming anything. It is prior to becoming. It is the ground of being. And so, what you might do is anytime you feel any tension in your body, you sense tension, you sense urgency, you sense strain or resistance or judgment, pause, just let your body become still for a moment. Take a deep, deep breath, perhaps a physiological sigh. It goes like this. Fill in your belly, all the way up to the top. Take one more sip, and then you let it go. It's a powerful nervous system reset. And then return to the awareness of awareness. And let these principles that we talked about today surface. Let yourself remember, yes, I create tension by trying to manage life from mind. I can release this self-effort and allow the infinite divine intelligence within me and all around me to help me navigate this moment. You tell me what I should do, what I should say, where I should go, right? That's reflective of the lessons in A Course in Miracles. And we move, instead of from pressure, we move from presence. So this is the simple turnaround that you can practice in your day. Pause, breathe, return to awareness. And perhaps either before or after, the mantra, I release the strain of becoming. I live, breathe, and move in presence, in the presence of being as the I am. Okay? So if this resonated with you, I want to invite you to try living from this state for just one day and watch how effortlessly life begins to rearrange itself when you stop forcing, stop resisting, and start allowing, start simply being present with what is. You may notice that you have more time, more spaciousness, more bandwidth, less stress, less strain, less tiredness. Many times we feel tired and we're trying to numb it out, and we're trying to get that next hit of coffee or cannabis or something that will allow us to regulate, but it's something external. And we think, oh, it's just because life is so fast and so, no. It's because you are in deep identification, deep relationship with the mentation in your mind, the narratives, the words, the sense of urgency that they lead you to, the sense of doership that they seem to confirm. So once we begin to shift out of this, we begin to see life with brand new colors. So I really hope you enjoyed that journey, that lesson, that recalibration of perception and awareness. I hope it's been of service to you. And if it has, I'd really love to hear from you in the comments. What was the insight that truly makes for a shift in your awareness and your perception in the way that you might navigate the rest of this day, this week? Yeah. I'd love to hear what really stood out. What feels to you like this is something that if you were to highlight it, it could benefit many others. So I'd love for you to share that in the comments below. Of course, if you have any questions, if you have had a different experience, or if you've tried this out and you have a testimony, you're like, yes, please share it down in the comments. Let's inspire the community. Let's continue to awaken together. My name is Boris. This is Beyond the Matrix. Grateful to be here with you, wishing you powerful, inspiring, and beautiful moments until I see you again.
I'm already love, already joy, already peace, already whole. I see the infinite potential flowing through my soul. God is living my life, I'm just a witness to his plan. I surrender to the flow, I let go, I let it stand.